What's going on, guys? Welcome back. And I got a little commentary for you guys today just because this has been something that's been on my mind for some time now. Something that I've noticed I'm putting a more conscious effort into avoiding and falling into the trap of that I have in the past of like, keeping up with the Joneses and lifestyle creep and, the lifestyle inflation that I know everyone, everyone can fall into the trap of. And it's something that I feel is very easy to fall into. It's very easy to, want to keep up with your friends, what you see on social media, and, trying to keep up with everybody and what they're doing. And it, it's very hard to not fall into the trap with the way that the social media algorithms work and with how everything gets pushed on you. But in all honesty, like, I have I've really been able to change that mentality a lot, especially when it comes to a lot of the purchases I do more than anything. I've been able to become a lot more, I guess, self-conscious, or in a way more thoughtful of the way that I purchase things. I don't just buy stuff on a whim anymore. And I'm really getting back into the roots of like making sure that the purchases I make actually are going to bring me joy and like satisfaction in life, because in all honesty, like, what's the point of spending money on something that if you don't really care about it, what's the point, right? And and then in no way does that mean like neglecting things around you, or things in your life, but I mean, just spending meaningfully, like buying stuff that actually makes you happy, right? If you know you're gonna have fun playing a game, or if you like playing video games, for an example, it's like spend that money on that game that if you're gonna have fun playing it, like buy it. It doesn't mean necessarily go and buy every single new release if that's not what makes you happy, right? But it's like if you find enjoyment over that, like why spend so much on stuff other stuff that you really don't hold the same value to you. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is I always the mindset I used to have before was always buying the greatest and best and everything at all times, but it's like now I've really changed that mentality. The first biggest thing for me was getting out of the phone trap, right? The iPhone trap of buying a new phone every year, because that eats up, can really quickly like take up a lot of extra money that you could be using, because it's like nowadays you're dropping $1,200 on a new phone. Um and I've definitely changed that mentality in my mind, especially because I've been able to when I buy used phones now, because I'm like, after about a week or so I can't even tell that it's you know that it's a new phone. It ends up just being your phone, so it's like after a week that that excitement, and then ooh, new shiny thing kind of wears off, so it's like it's just your phone. And I definitely feel like having that change has helped me, because in a lot of ways it's like you tend to realize that you're actually pretty content with what you own and what you have, already. And then so that necessity to keep upgrading and keep up with the newest hottest topic or newest hottest thing, whether it's cars, clothing, shoes, technology, or even in just experiences, right? Because I feel like nowadays an experience is just as valuable as a material item nowadays. And more than anything, it's for, especially like if you're someone who seeks external validation on social media and stuff, it can quickly spiral. People who take out loans to go to Coachella and to go to, like, they'll use credit to go to sporting events and stuff like that. Like, it could quickly spiral, out of hand. And I think that's the one thing I've noticed. And not not in that aspect, but I mean just in the aspect of, like, I've been able to kind of control myself in that way. Like, I don't necessarily feel like I need to, you know, keep up anymore. Like, the keeping up isn't no longer is no longer something that I'm like so worried about. You know, I'm able to pretty easily identify when something's being kind of like creeping in FOMO wise, like where it's not really what I want, but it's just more like there's a feeling and need of needing something. And then on top of that, like I've been able to be more conscious about making sure that when I do get something, it's is I make sure that it's, there's a dual purpose to it all, and it's no longer I'm no longer getting things that are, single purpose items and stuff like that, which has been a very big help in that sense of being able to kind of like more realistically look at the usage of my items. And I'm definitely been a lot more conscious about, like, if I buy something, I want to make sure that I actually get my usage out of it and I get my money's worth out of it, because it's like if I don't, then what's the point of getting all this stuff, It's like, and it's like, if I wasn't going to use it, why would I get it? And I think that's something that everyone struggles with. No one it's not, and it's not something that you're just inherently better at doing over other things. It's just like, I think some people, I think for some people it just comes harder than others. I think anybody can get into, a bad habit of like comparison, right? Comparing your life to other people's lives on social media, right? Because social media is just like a highlight reel. And yeah, I don't know. It's just that the lifestyle inflation creep can really catch up to you, like really, really fast, without really realizing it. And I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with. And I know there's a big sentiment of basically saying like, it's, treat yourself now because it's just gonna get worse. But it's like kind of a sad and like pessimistic mentality to have, It's like being frugal, holding back, and having that self-control to like control your desires in some cases where they're not needs, like, the indulgence of it all. Like being able to control that and hold that back, I think is kind of an important skill. Like, that I feel like nowadays is getting lost. And it's definitely something that's not taught to kids as much nowadays. Is a shame. Um and I think it's something that should be, it's something that should be like important to people. It should be important for parents to be able to teach their kids like self-restraint, self-control, and stuff like that, impulse control. Because I know even in my case, like I found myself at times, falling to impulse, like impulsivity, and being able to just not being able to like realize it until after the fact, right? And it happens a lot because that stuff shows it's shows itself in a lot of ways, not just purchasing, not just buying, but like just in general. Like, it's like, I don't know, there's just like an always desire of wanting more that like can get kind of tiresome at some point. It can get very tiresome, and it's like, it's a shame that it is like that, but you know it is what it is. Like, that's just how it is. And are you able to control it, like, are you able to control that impulsivity? Are you able to control your habits? you know I feel like a lot of that, in a way, there's just everything is like commingled with how much you're able to succeed, I guess, because it's like you can't control yourself, you're impulsive. And I feel like that can have a detrimental effect to any goals you may have, whether financial, personal, career wise, whatever it is, like business goals. And that impulsivity that one may have because they can't control themselves just kind of creep up and cause you issues in the long term. But yeah, I don't know, just kind of something that came to my mind, a little topic that came to my mind that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, but yeah, if you guys enjoyed this little commentary, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.